This is the Traeger Grill's Pro 780, and it is the first wood pellet grill that let me get that deep, smoky flavor while actually enjoying my day. I set the temperature, walk away, and dinner comes off tasting like I babysat it the whole time. I put this in the category of pellet grill and smoker, and it is best for people who want reliable, repeatable results with real wood flavor without the constant fire management. If you love long cooks or you want a single cooker that can smoke, roast, bake, and grill, this fits that sweet spot. If your priority is a screaming hot steakhouse sear or that hands-on charcoal ritual, this will not fully replace a dedicated gas sear burner or a charcoal kettle, but it covers more day-to-day cooking than I expected. On design, the first thing that matters in daily use is how solid it feels. The barrel is sturdy, the legs do not wobble, and the big wheels roll over patio cracks and grass without fighting me. The black finish hides grime well between cleanups. The side shelf is where I keep the thermometer and trays, and the tool hooks actually get used. The porcelain-coated grates clean up easier than bare metal. They do not rust if I miss a spot, and a quick brush while the grill is still warm knocks off most residue. The hopper takes a standard 20-pound bag of pellets, which means I can pour in one bag and get through a long weekend without topping off for typical cooks. Switching pellet flavors is manual. There is no quick dump, so I scoop out what I want to swap. It takes a few minutes, and I only do it when I really want a different wood. Setup was straightforward. Assembly took me about an hour and a half at an easy pace. 2 people make it safer to lift the body into the cart, and after that it is just bolts, shelves, and the chimney. The initial seasoning run is important. I ran it empty at a high temperature to burn off any oils. Connecting it to my home wireless network through the Traeger application was simple. It found the grill, updated itself, and I was adjusting settings from my phone on the couch. That remote control sounds like a gimmick until you use it. Being able to bump the temperature up during a cook without walking outside is great, especially in cold weather. Day-to-day ease of use is what sold me. I fill the hopper, turn the dial to the temperature I want, and it fires up by itself. Preheat time depends on the target temperature and the weather. For a low and slow cook around 225 degrees Fahrenheit, mine usually settles within about 15 minutes. For a roast around 350 degrees Fahrenheit, I give it 20 minutes to be safe. Once it is there, it holds steady. In my experience, it stays within roughly 10 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit of the set point, which is exactly what you need for smoking. I do notice a slightly warmer zone near the chimney side and along the back edge, so I rotate racks on longer cooks. That is normal for offset airflow cookers, and it becomes second nature. Let me talk performance, because that is where this earned a permanent spot on my patio. The Traeger Grill's Pro 780 tops out around 500 degrees Fahrenheit. That is hot enough for burgers, wings, and reverse seared steaks. But if you want the blazing sear lines you get from cast iron over a raging gas burner, this will not match that direct flame intensity. What it does incredibly well is low to mid temperatures. Smoke flavor is most pronounced in the 200 to 275 degree range. As you push into 300 and above, the smoke gets lighter, which is perfect for chicken with crisp skin or a roasted pork loin. Heat spreads evenly across the main grate with that small hotspot bias I mentioned, and the digital controller plus the variable speed fan keep the fire consistent. Pellet use has been reasonable. At a steady 225 degrees Fahrenheit, I typically go through about 1 pound of pellets per hour, sometimes less in warm weather. At higher roasting temperatures, it can be closer to 2 pounds per hour. Wind and cold matter. A windy winter day will make it work harder, so I use an insulated blanket when it is really cold, and that smooths things out. Here are some of my real cooks. I did an 8-pound pork shoulder overnight at 225 degrees Fahrenheit using hickory pellets. I put it on at 10 at night, set the temperature, and used the included meat probe to track internal temperature. I got an alert on my phone at dawn when it hit the stall, bumped the temperature up 20 degrees from bed, and it pushed through without me standing in the yard. The bark was dark and crunchy, the fat rendered, and it shredded cleanly. I also ran a 3-2-1 style rib day. For me, that was 3 hours of smoke at 225 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 hours wrapped, then unwrapped to set the glaze. The bones did not fall out, which I like. They had a gentle tug and a deep smoky sweetness. Chicken is where this cooker surprised me. Spatchcocked a whole bird at 375 degrees Fahrenheit with a simple salt and pepper rub. The skin actually crisped without turning rubbery, and the meat stayed juicy. I also tried salmon on a cedar plank, 275 degrees Fahrenheit, a little lemon and dill, and it finished with a delicate smoke that did not overpower the fish. Pizza was a fun one. I slid a stone on the grates, let it heat at around 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and turned the pie once. It is not a Naples-style char, but the crust crisps, the cheese bubbles, and it is fast and consistent for a family night. For a steak night, reverse sear was the move. I brought ribeyes up to around 115 degrees internal at 225 degrees Fahrenheit for smoke, rested them for a few minutes, then cranked the grill to its max and finished quickly. I do not get the same aggressive char as a cast iron pan over a gas flame, but the flavor from the smoke and the even doneness edge to edge made up for it. If I want hard sear marks, I grab a cast iron grate and let it preheat for a long time, which helps. The unique twist that genuinely improves life is the wireless control with the Traeger application. I have adjusted temperatures from the grocery store when traffic slowed me down. I have watched the temperature chart for the meat probe during a long brisket cook, and the trend line told me when the stall started and when it began to climb again. The application timers and alerts keep me from missing wrap times or sauce steps. This is not about showing off. It is about removing the small stress moments that make long cooks tiring. The shutdown cycle is another thoughtful touch. Turn it off and it runs a cooldown to clear out extra pellets and shut the fire down safely. Maintenance is not bad. After every few cooks, I pull the grates and drip tray, knock off the flakes, and give the fire pot a quick vacuum with a small shop vacuum. I line the drip tray with foil when I know a cook will be messy. The porcelain grates benefit from a quick brush while warm, not after everything is stone cold. I also cover the grill. Pellets are wood and they hate moisture, so I keep a few sealed containers in the garage and only fill the hopper with what I need if rain is in the forecast. I have a couple criticisms. Warm-up takes longer than a gas grill, so spontaneous weeknight hot dogs are not as instant. Searing is good with the reverse method, but not the raging, blistered sear some people want. In strong wind, you need to think about placement or add a wind break, because any cooker with a fan and vent can get pushed around by gusts. I had one odd moment where the application lost connection for a few minutes on my home network, then reconnected on its own. It did not affect the cook, but it is worth mentioning. And if you like to change pellet woods often, the lack of a quick empty chute means you will be scooping. Despite those quirks, the day-to-day payoff is huge. The Traeger Grill's Pro 780 has turned me into a more consistent cook for gatherings. I can take on a long brisket for a family reunion and actually talk to people instead of hovering over a firebox. I can do a tray of wings for a game night at 350 degrees Fahrenheit with a light applewood smoke, then drop the temperature for a tray of baked macaroni and cheese right on the same cooker. That versatility is the real benefit. If you are the kind of person who wants real wood flavor without managing a fire minute by minute, who appreciates set-it and trust-it cooking, and who wants one cooker that can handle brunch cinnamon rolls, weeknight chicken thighs, and a weekend rack of ribs, the Traeger Grill's Pro 780 delivers. If you live for the ritual of tending live charcoal, or you demand a restaurant-style char on steaks every time, pair this with a dedicated sear station, or stick with what you love. For me, this hits the balance of convenience, control, and flavor, and it has become the cooker I use most often. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to the channel and tell me what you want to see cooked on this next. Drop your questions and your own experiences in the comments. Thank you for watching.